welcome back to JOJ. It is July 30th. Currently you will be back in Michigan.
I should be in Michigan this time.
Be in Michigan, practice day.
Yep.
And kids and I are home. Yeah.
Yep.
So today's title is Job's Pals. And the Bible verse is Job 16:2. I have heard many such things. Miserable comforters are you all. Oh. Humorist Arnold H. Glasgow quipped, a loyal friend laughs at your jokes when they are not so good and sympathizes with your problems when they're not so bad. Job's pals seemed to start that way during his crisis, for we read in Job 2:11, when Job's three friends heard all of this adversity that had come upon him, each one came from his own place, for they had made an appointment together to come and mourn with him and to comfort him. Job's friends began well. They sat with him on the ground 7 days and 7 nights and grieved with him. Few words were spoken. The friends were sensitive to Job's despair and as he unburdened his heart. But then they opened their mouths. And spouted opinions, most of which were laden with misinformation, and their well-meaning visit took a wrong turn. That led an exasperated Job to call them miserable comforters. Well, how many times have we resembled Job's friends? With our friends, let's sit where they are, weep when they weep, and laugh as they laugh. But when we open our mouths, let's ask God for wisdom to reflect His truth into their lives in a way that builds them up, lest we too be miserable comforters. And then the quote is, friends are relatives you make for yourself.
Now, tell us that name.
It looks like mustache, kind of, but with an E. Deschamps.
Yep. I got nothing. Eustache?
Eustache? Deschamps.
Deschamps.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yep.
So, miserable comforters.
Job's buddies were not very good. They started off good.
But, I think that makes a lot of sense as humans,
Yeah.
we are, we're very, somebody's in a bad situation, and we're, right there.
We're good for a few minutes.
And then we start thinking, well, we open our mouths, and sometimes those opinions might not be the best thing for that situation.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I feel like you're pretty good. You say the right things, and not very witty, and sometimes my sarcastic personality can get the best of me sometimes.
You can shine in that moment.
I can. But, my best friend Leslie, we joke, we cannot sit next to each other at a funeral because we have the same sarcastic.
That's how you deal with stuff.
Yes, it is. If something is wrong in our lives, we send funny memes 27 hours a day because we have to laugh at it at this point. We're in the same situation as far as kids. They have one less, but age-wise, just the things we go through as women, aging, all that fun stuff. So that is just my personality. We tend to make jokes when things are not really bad. Obviously, when stuff like that. But
but with friends, and it's good to have. It's good to have friends that you are similar to in that situation for sure, who you have a similar personality as or whatever, so that way you do understand each other, and you're not that friend to an Abby kind of friend, that doesn't go well. But yeah, and that, I feel like I'm more the person where it's I'm gonna come sit by you, and I don't really know most of the time. I don't feel like I'm going to have maybe exactly the right thing to say, so I probably won't say much at all, but I'm just there. If you want to say something to me, I'm all ears, and I'll try to give you whatever kind of response I feel like that hopefully fits and is something that would glorify God in it. But more than anything, I'm just going to be there. I think is kind of my response in a situation like that. And that's Job's buddies was there. They sat with him, for 7 days and nights, that's pretty.
It's good for him.
Started off pretty good, but then they eventually started running their mouth and their opinions, and they were giving Job a lot of bad info, and I think his wife eventually gave him the worst, to just curse God and die. But she was maybe the worst friend in that situation. But yeah, and that's a lot of time. I mean, that's as a friend being that comforter. That's if your friend's hurting, the last thing you're going to do is laugh at them, and if they're excited, you're not going to try to bring them down. When they weep, you're going to weep. When they laugh, you're going to laugh. When they just want you there to sit there and have your arm around them, that's what you need to do too.
Yeah, and I think as adults, it's easier to not have the jealousies towards friends. Does that make sense? I think when you're younger, it's easy to when things go good for your friend and things seemingly go not so great for you, or to always try to remind yourself of, okay, a good friend is happy for your friend, you should be happy for your friend's successes, and and vice versa. It's not a competition. I think so much today in this world is focused on
me and
me, or just being better than, or there's so much things on social media of everything's perfect. Is to remind yourself that nobody's perfect, no family's perfect, no situation's perfect. So to be a good friend in that of when your friend is being successful, to truly find peace in that and be happy for that, or for them.
A situation with that really comes directly to mind for me, the cup event we had here in East Tennessee a year or two ago. First round of it was on Douglas, and then sudden death and championship were both on Fort Loudon. I made the championship but didn't win, but my best friend Andy did. Now that event's at home for me. Same water I'd won the Classic on. I would love to have won that, but I truly feel like I was just as happy for Andy having won it as I would have been for myself. That was an awesome win for him, and I was super, super proud of him. When with those, we don't really see each other on the water, and the time when we got back to the ramp was different. But when we got back to the hotel where he was doing his interview, the first thing I did was went and found him and to give him a hug. So I was extremely, extremely happy for my friend in that moment. So.
Yep, and I think if you're dealing with a situation of especially in happy times, it's easy. When someone's going through something rough, or they're just discouraged, or just having a hard time, is to really, again, I have to really not speak quickly. I really have to give myself time to, okay, make sure that you say it in this way, and to be aware of other people's sensitivities. That's a big thing, because again, I'm not overly, but Abby's personality is very different than mine. Yeah. To where she does take things personally, and we could be completely joking, not even serious at all, but she's taken it to heart. And so we've had to really learn, okay,
we can joke about this.
Yes, we can joke about some things. Some things we need to lay off of, or not joke about so much, maybe. Yeah. But we love her.
Maybe we shouldn't joke about joking about her so much.
Yeah, maybe not. Anywho. Yep. My guess is she probably won't watch this.
Probably not.
So we're good. I
think we're safe.
We're safe.
Yep.
But yeah, so I guess, this whole month has kind of been, it started out with discouragement, but then each Sunday has kind of followed up with some kind of encouragement. So I think this is a fitting way to end the month of encouraging everyone to be good friends. Be
that good friend. Be that good godly friend to those in your life. Always giving them good information that will encourage them to in the end, hopefully draw them closer to God. So,
exactly.
Whether that person is a believer or if they're not, to hopefully that you're able to be the best friend and bring them to the Lord.
Yeah. So, I love the quote of, friends are relatives you make for yourself. And that couldn't be more true. You don't really get to choose who your relatives are, but your friends you do.
Yeah, and sometimes friends will be closer than those
than actual relatives.
Your relatives too. So
yeah, thankful for that.
Yeah.
So join us next Sunday. We will be live.
That's the plan.
And pray this week for a good week, for a big week, because AOI is going to be tight.
Decided this week.
Probably decided on the last day of fishing. So obviously our desire is for this guy to win, but we also know if he doesn't, that wasn't God's will. So
that's all what it's supposed to be.
Yes.
Yep.
So pray for us for a big week, and hopefully next Sunday we're coming with a really good, exciting live. Or it might be sad, but we'll see. Either way, it'll be fun. So, but thank y'all for watching, and we will catch you next week.